Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the dev update 15 that Mecha BREAK just released. So it is their season 5 mid-season update and modified strikers. So in the last dev update they said that they would elaborate more on a bunch of the things that they talked about. You can go back and watch my video on the dev update 14 if you want. That just came out a few days ago. But here we go. Hey pilots! In our last update, we covered the new season's content. This time, we'll get straight to the point and talk about our update plans for this season. As many of you know, Mecha BREAK has maintained a bi-weekly update cadence recently, covering balance adjustments, events, bug fixes, and more. Yeah. This approach has been working well and allows us to address issues in a timely manner. Yes. That said, with seasons lasting 2 to 3 months, steady updates keep the core experience solid, but it can start to feel repetitive over time. Yeah, I kind of feel that. To address this, we're planning a mid-season update at the season's halfway point. Okay, that's interesting. I don't mind that. That sounds kind of cool. The goal is twofold: extend the season's replayability, and give newly developed content enough time for proper polish and validation. Okay, yeah, I like that a lot. I know, for example, Marvel Rivals does something very similar to this, where at the start of their season they add one character, and then you have half the season for that one, and then at the halfway mark of the season, they introduce a second character, and that definitely brings in a bunch of, like they say, replayability into the game mode and kind of just freshens everything up, even though it's the same season. So I'm guessing they'll do maybe something similar to that, where they'll release one big thing at the start of the season, another big thing in the middle, and then you'll have your full season there. This new content is tentatively called Modified Strikers. Okay, what is a Modified Striker? A Modified Striker is a performance variant based on an existing striker. Okay, interesting. By adjusting certain skill values and base attributes, it delivers a distinct combat experience in actual battles. So I wonder if this is kind of like a skill tree, maybe? Mod culture holds a unique place in many fields, and science fiction and mecha are no exception. It's a compelling facet with a ton of room to explore. I would agree with that. How does it relate, though? Let's see. What does the modification system look like in practice? Here's a peek through some of the early design concept art. And here's the art right here. Okay, let's see. I don't know if I can actually tell any different. Although, this guy looks like he has a way taller horn here. So I'm wondering if that's part of it. Let's see, taking Falcon as an example, you'll notice that the head and backpack designs differ from the current Falcon. These differences reflect potential shifts in combat focus, such as more stable flight handling or more efficient recon capabilities. Okay? In our current design, these components can be collected individually and swapped at the cosmetic level. Once a full set is collected, it unlocks a special set ability. Interesting. Okay. Specific acquisition methods, set effects, and applicable scope are still being finalized internally. The first batch of modified strikers include 2 units, Falcon and Hell. That's such a random 2, but I love playing Hell, so I will probably try grinding for that if, whatever it's called with the acquisition methods, I'll try to grind out the Hell then. We'll share their specific appearances and set abilities once the details are locked in. Okay, so it's saying you'll notice the head and backpack designs differ from the current Falcon. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of saying. Definitely the head has a much more, this like a unicorn horn looking thing that was way taller than the normal Falcon has. And these jet wings are pretty, I mean, this one, it just looks like a spiky Falcon to me, but I honestly love the design. Yeah, that is sick. But so I wonder if it'll kind of be, what's it called? Like right now, if you play the PvP modes, like Ace Arena and stuff and Verge, you can get like one piece of armor that's purely cosmetic for mechs that like just changes it and makes it look like a cooler one, and it's like called Pinnacle, whatever the name of the thing is. So I wonder if this will be similar, where you will get like a Pinnacle wings or Pinnacle helmet, and that'll just upgrade your abilities. I also wonder if these modified strikers will go into PvP, because if it's like a grinding thing where you can only grind it out by like playing a bunch of matches, that might be fine to introduce to PvP, because it wouldn't be any pay to win. It would like, you just need to grind it out. But if there's a way to pay for it and then you can bring it into PvP, that kind of ruins a little bit of the balancing, which I really like about this game. So we'll just need to see. Actually, they might mention it through here. So what of custom units? In short, any feature available to modified strikers will also be available to custom units. Okay, modified striker to custom units. Okay, so okay, I'll keep reading. We will develop an equally competitive set of independent stats for custom units, rendering their combat performance more stylized. Okay. When the specialized stats of custom and modified strikers are viewed alongside the default striker, the direction of adjustment emphasizes extending each striker's unique gameplay rather than establishing a hierarchical relationship in terms of combat effectiveness. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is basically saying it's just like how the mods work right now, where instead of just making them better, the mech better, you get mods with debuffs on them too. So instead of making them hierarchical, it makes them extending the unique gameplay. So you, like this one, it was saying recon capabilities somewhere up here, but the recon capabilities, like maybe you get this and you're able to just have more consistent like scanning or something, or maybe the scanning range is doubled, something like that. But maybe you fly slower, something like that. So instead of being like a fast attacker that like gets to the people, you just show your whole team everybody. So it's, I don't know, that's just me throwing out ideas for what they could be meaning by that. Additionally, in consideration of certain pilots' handling preferences, we are also planning to introduce a toggle for set ability activation, allowing pilots across modes to make flexible choices based on their individual combat habits. Overall, default strikers, modified strikers, and custom units will each have their own combat stat module. Once unlocked, these modules can be freely toggled and swapped based on personal preference, and are not tied to cosmetics, meaning you can choose any appearance while running whichever combat module suits your playstyle. I mean, this is really nice that they're doing this, because if, for example, you really liked one effect from one of the things from the modules or whatever, but it like, maybe you hate the unicorn, the giant horn on here. What that's saying is you can have the effects of this horn, but just on the normal Falcon, I'd assume. So that's what this is telling me here. I also wonder if you'll probably also be able to equip this. Maybe you really like the look of this horn, but you don't want the effect that it gives you, so you can probably equip this horn without equipping the effect. So that's nice. So it's like separate from cosmetics. So you can have your play style one way and your looks another way. I like that. The only thing I will say that could be a little bit confusing about is like maybe you see a Falcon with this and you're like, oh, I need to look out for its extra recon capabilities, but then it doesn't have it equipped, or it doesn't have this visual indicator, and then you're like, I don't need to watch out for its recon capabilities, but it does have them. That could be something that is bad about it. I'm not sure. I don't foresee that being a huge issue with it, though. So, moving on now, though. Is other content no longer in development? Oh, that's a good question. For Season 5, we can confirm that we are unable to provide new strikers, custom units, seasonal weapons, or airdrop drones. The number of season patterns and pilots come as The number of season patterns and pilot cosmetics will also be reduced. Ah. Okay. That's fine. Although, it's saying for season 5. So maybe season 6 they will focus less on all the gameplay, everything, and more on custom units, weapon skins, and strikers. Oh, wait, that's interesting. No more seasonal weapon skins. So next season, whatever it's themed like, won't have their like weapon skins in the like the 3 free ones in the shop, and then the couple of like ones you need to gamble for in the crates. So it won't have those. I wonder how they'll like, I don't know, incentivize people. That's interesting. I don't know how to feel about that. They're a smaller team. That's too bad. I was hoping for a couple new robots to get, or a couple of the robots to get a new custom unit. Because if they release a Stego one, I'm buying that instantly. But right now, none of the custom units are robots that I play at all, so I can't support them because I'm not gonna spend like $50 on a robot that I'll never play. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, and then season patterns and pilot cosmetics also reduced. That's fine. I think the bigger thing here is no weapon skins, strikers, or custom units. But anyways, the team currently lacks the resources to produce high-quality appearances and effects at scale. The polished assets you've seen in the past were supported by an art team numbering in the hundreds. That's crazy. So they used to have hundreds of people on an art team for their designs. And that level of technical capability and workload is beyond our current reach. Yeah, that makes sense. They are a much smaller team now. I definitely understand that, actually. And now that I'm thinking about it, if they are doing things like this is like, I don't know. I was just saying that no seasonal weapon skins is a bummer, but if they're giving like Hell and Falcon these like new things, that's practically like an event skin. Kind of, at least for the cosmetic purposes of it and everything. Okay, that's fine. To put it in perspective, a single striker requires 2D concept art, 3D asset production, effects creation, and combat logic implementation, all involving extensive specialization and expertise. Yep. Yeah, I'm not, I'm not super familiar, but like, I can totally see all of this needing, if you want to release a striker that looks good, plays good, and fits into the game well, you need all of this stuff, and you need a team of people for all of these. So if they cut off like half of these people, you can't finish something with only half the people. By Mecha BREAK's presentation standards, these assets are an enormous undertaking without dedicated production infrastructure. Yeah, so they lost a bunch of their team, and now their infrastructure before cannot be supported anymore, so they can't make anything for now. So why modified strikers? Our remaining team has been focusing on planning and future development. I like this. They're focusing on future development. That's really good. I like that. That means that they probably have a plan for how to keep going with the game, instead of like short term how to just keep themselves afloat. If they're able to look into feature development. Oh my god. I totally misread that as future development. Never mind. Feature development. Okay. That's still good. Less good than what I had read. But anyways, which translates in-game to new gameplay modes and system optimizations. Yeah. We've also been reorganizing our art resources, hoping to realize feasible ideas with what we have, and hoping that one day we can restart our full production pipeline. Okay, so they are hoping that one day, so that is future facing. Yeah, and realizing feasible ideas with what they have, so they recognize that they can't like go for crazy things right now, so they are sticking to what they know they can do and trying to put that out as best as they can, is what I can understand from that. And if this whatever they're doing right now works out, and there has been an uptick in players, if it keeps going like that, then we might just be right back on track to rebooting the game and getting our, like they say, the full production pipeline rerunning. So we have made progress on multiple fronts. On one hand, we've resumed production of certain assets, enabling modified strikers and continued output of dynamic patterns. Yeah, the dynamic patterns are super cool, but like, I don't know. I like the way that the word ones look, but not enough to like swap them out for any of the current patterns I'm running. On the other hand, we're working to salvage near-complete assets, such as Season 4 weapon skins, whose theme was considered somewhat mismatched, and the pilot cosmetics coming this season. Okay, so yeah, they had near-complete assets, so they had been probably working on these Season 4 assets, like all the disco ones and the music-themed ones, and they'd probably been working on those when they had the full team of everybody, and so since it's probably like, we'll just say like 80% there, they're saying that they can salvage the near complete ones, so they can like push them past the finish line, but they don't have enough people to start completely new ones. And this is nice, saying such as the Season 4 weapon skins is nice because that means that it's probably not, the only near complete assets is probably not just the Season 4 weapon skins, hopefully. So maybe they'll still have more assets that they're all able to finish, polish off, and add into the game. We'd also like to clarify changes for the season supply crates. Due to the absence of seasonal weapon skins, oh yeah, this is what I was saying before, we're repositioning supply crates as a source oriented more towards consumable supplies. Okay, so that probably means that they'll give you more like corite tubes or like blue coins maybe. We'll also include special physical merchandise for you to obtain, including limited gold Falcon models, premium hardware, peripherals, and limited edition Striker 3D artwork previously never released to the public. Okay, I mean, I'll be going super hard for that, because before we had the Falcon voucher, which was like a 0.01% chance in every box. I've never heard of anybody getting one, but I'm sure there's someone on one of the servers. But this is so cool. So if they give you more options for physical merchandise, that's so cool. I mean, if they would release any of this stuff for just sale, I would totally buy it. I know they had a Falcon model that released like with the game's release, but like with pretty much everything else in the game, it was just at such a high price point that it was like I wasn't going to spend the whatever, it was like $400 off the top of my head for it, and I don't think I can spend that much on it. So, but if they had like they say here, limited edition Striker 3D artwork, like if they sold one of these for like $30, like a lenticular poster for $30 of like Stego or something, dude, I'd buy that in an instant. That would be sick. And $30 is much more in my price range, so I don't know. But it does sound like they'll just include that in the options for the supply crates. For more season details, please refer to the upcoming official announcements. Thank you for your support, pilots. We'll see you on the battlefield. Alright, that is the Dev Update 15. They shared some pretty important stuff here. I always do appreciate with this dev team that they're extremely transparent about everything. They're just laying out their situation, and that means a lot to the player base, I think. Being able to know and like get that understanding with the players, like, hey, we know you're wanting some of this stuff, like all this stuff, but we can't provide it, and like here's why, here's what we're doing instead of that. I think that's invaluable, and I think they really need to keep it up with that, because yeah, being transparent is so useful to any like developer company, I think, especially when you're trying to like keep all of your player base. So anyways, I'm excited. This guy looks sick. That'll be super fun to use. I wonder if Hell will also be more spiky, because it's already a fairly spiky robot. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe Hell will get like more chain lightning or something. That'd be kind of interesting. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked this content, please consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, see you on the battlefield.